Hello, welcome to another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
So Joanne, what do you think we should cover tonight?
Well, I thought maybe we could talk about how to do a quick receipt or a quick payment transaction.
Okay, yep, that's good. Just, I guess, as an introduction, quick receipts in accounts receivable give you a good way to take in money from a customer that you don't have an invoice for. Maybe it's just a miscellaneous check, recycling rebates, things like that you want to include with your overall deposit, but you don't really have an invoice that you're going to apply it to. So that's really what that would be for. And the similar deal with AP, with the quick payments. You might have someone come in to do some work for you that you need to give them, a check at the end of the day. Maybe they don't give you an invoice for it.
Okay.
So you can just kind of produce this payment that will end up, generating a system check without needing an invoice for it.
Okay. Well, can we take a look at maybe a quick receipt first?
Sure, absolutely. Okay. So I'll open up AR and click the receipt. And again, recording these receipts, very similar to taking in a regular check from someone that's going to apply to an invoice.
Okay.
Same idea. You do have to have a customer in place.
Okay.
And so you could either create a customer specifically for who's sending the money. If it's something that's going to repeat, month over month, maybe it's a recycling check that's going to come in frequently. So you could set them up as a customer. You could set up a miscellaneous cash sale type customer.
Okay.
If it's for oddity things, it'll come up every so often.
Okay, sounds good.
But you do have to have a customer in place. So I'll go ahead and just pick anybody in here. Okay. You would enter in, of course, the amount of the check. Okay. How they paid. Check. Of course, you can enter in the check number. And then you can flag it that it's a quick receipt. And when you do that, you can go ahead and select a GL code.
Okay.
Okay, a revenue code, sales code to go with it. And again, it kind of bypasses going through AR, the trade account. So it's really just going to make an entry that's going to go into cash and go directly to sales. The system's going to recognize when you set it as a quick receipt that there is no invoice now and there won't be at any point going forward. So immediately the open balance on the receipt is going to be zero.
Okay. And
it won't show up on the aging report.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Sounds good. Well, how about taking a look at a quick payment?
An AP, sure. Okay. All right, so I'll just cancel that. Go into AP. And same idea. So we're going to do it under a payment screen. You do have to have a supplier. Same rule applies we just talked about with on the AR side. You do have to pick a supplier. So same thing. You could create a general supplier account.
Okay.
On the AP side, if you're going to be printing a system check, there is a payee name here. So if you do create sort of a miscellaneous account, you can redirect the payee name.
Okay.
So that it'll print on the check correct.
Okay, great.
Okay. Enter in the total payment. Now on the payable side, if you have a GL code tied to that vendor, as soon as you toggle on the quick payment, the GL expense code comes in. Of course, you can change it on the fly. There is a description memo field here, that can be made to print on the check also.
Okay, sounds good. And that's it?
And that's it. And the only other real rule, whenever you do a quick payment or quick receipt, again, it's presuming that there was no invoice now and there's not going to be. So you're never going to combine this with trying to add and apply it to an invoice.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, it's one or the other.
Makes sense.
But other than that, it's recording a receipt or a payment just like any other.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, that was great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, this was another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
Please look forward for more to come.